Alright, so we've been talking about writing linear equations using different forms and being given different information and how we're going to do it. So today we're going to talk about what happens if you're just given 2 points on the graph. What can we do? Okay, so when we have 2 points, we know that we can find slope, so that's a piece of information that we can use. So the slope formula, remember, is m is equal to y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. So that's a good piece of information. And then once we have slope, we also have these 2 points, so we could use one of the points and the slope to plug into the point-slope formula and then simplify down to our slope-intercept form. So we always have ways to take information that we've been given and plug it in to one of these forms and get out an equation, especially a slope-intercept form that we can take and work with as far as graphing or getting additional information for this line. So our point-slope formula, remember, is y minus y sub 1 is equal to m multiplied by x minus x sub 1. Okay. Alright, so let's start with an example here. So first off, we've been given 2 points, so let's find out what the slope is between these 2 lines. So m is equal to negative 1 minus 7 over 1 minus negative 3, and if you don't remember how to do this, there is a set of notes on your Google Classroom all about finding slope, so you can go back and view those. So here we end up with a negative 8 divided by a positive 4, which is negative 2. So our slope is negative 2, and then we have these 2 points to work with. So let's plug this point and this slope into our point-slope formula. So y minus 7 is equal to negative 2 multiplied by x plus 3. And notice I'm just going to go ahead and start, if it's a minus a negative, rewriting it as a plus because I know it needs to be done. I'm going to distribute. Get negative 2x minus 6, and then I'm going to add this 7 over here. And so now it is in slope-intercept form. It's all simplified and ready to go for whatever we need to do with it, whether it's to graph it or to grab more information or whatever we're being asked to do here. Okay. Alright, let's look at number 3. Same process. We need to find our slope first. So I'm going to do negative 6 minus negative 1 over 4 minus 2. We end up here with negative 5 on top and 2 on the bottom, so negative 5 halves is our slope. So that's what I'm going to plug in, and I'm going to use this right here as my point. So y plus 1, remember I took that minus a negative and went ahead and made it plus. 5 halves x multiplied by x minus 2. I can distribute this negative 5 halves. I get negative 5 halves x plus 5, and then I'm going to subtract this 1 to get the y isolated. And that is going to be my formula or my equation in slope-intercept form. Okay, another example. Okay, we're going to take this and do m is equal to, we're going to take negative 5 minus 1 over 0 minus a negative 8. So we end up with negative 6 over 8, which simplifies down to negative 3/4. Then I'm going to plug these values in. I'm going to use this point and this slope, so y minus 1 is equal to negative 3/4 multiplied by x plus 8. And then I'm going to distribute this, negative 3/4 x, and then negative 3/4 times 8 becomes a negative 6, and then I'm going to add the 1. So I end up with a formula of y is equal to, or an equation of negative 3/4 x minus 5. Alright, so let's look at, let's just do 2, actually we'll go ahead and do the rest of these examples here on the odds. So we have m is equal to, once again, remember, y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1, that's our slope formula, and then point slope is y minus y sub 1 is equal to m x minus x sub 1. Okay, so I'm going to take 2 and subtract negative 14, and I'm going to take the 3 and subtract negative 9, and so here I get 16 on the top, and I get 12 on the bottom, and that's going to simplify to 4/3. So from here, I'm going to use this as my formula. Remember these negatives, that minus a negative is going to become a positive when I plug it in. So I'm going to do y plus 14 I'm going to do 4/3 slope multiplied by x plus 9, and then I'm going to distribute this 4/3. So I get 4/3 x plus 12, and then I'm going to subtract this 14, and I get y is equal to 4/3 x minus 2 for my slope-intercept form. Okay. Alright, then let's look at number 9. Again, same process. It's just repeating the same process each time. It's the hardest part about these questions is not the plugging it in and the simplifying. It's trying to figure out, okay, this is the piece of information that I have, and this is what I want to do with it. How do I get there, and what are the steps to do that? So that's the hardest part about this. But once you know all the skills, we can start practicing, okay, here's what I have, here's what I need, how do I get there? Alright, so here we have m is equal to 2 minus 7 over 6 plus 4, and so we get a -5 on top and a 10 on bottom. That's -1/2 as a slope. Then we're going to do y minus 7 is equal to -1/2 multiplied by x plus 4. Remember, anytime I have this minus a negative, I'm just going to go ahead and automatically change it to a plus. So don't get tripped up just because I'm doing that. I'm just trying to make it a little bit easier to have to keep from having to go one more step. Okay, I'm just trying to simplify things a little bit. So here I get -1/2 multiplied by x, which is -1/2 x, and -1/2 multiplied by 4, which is -2. I'm going to add this 7 over here, and I end up with y is equal to -1/2 x plus 5. Okay, another example. Same process. I'm going to take 2 and I'm going to subtract a -1, so I'm going to add 1. And I'm going to take 0 and I'm going to subtract 4, so I end up with 3 over -4, so -3/4 for my slope. I'm going to use this point right here, so minus a -1 is a +1, -3/4 for my slope, x minus 4. I'm going to distribute here, so -3/4 times x is -3/4 x, -3/4 times -4 is +3. Then from here we're going to subtract 1, and so we end up with -3/4 x plus 2. Alright, one more example just to make sure that we know what we're doing. So we're going to start again with that slope. I have -1 minus a -5, and then I have a 2 minus 3. So I didn't go ahead and simplify it. I did it the long style again, just so that you can see it all in one place. So -1, this becomes a +5, which is going to give us a 4 on top, and 2 minus 3 is a -1. So we end up with a -4 slope for these 2 points. Okay, then we're going to do y minus a -5 is equal to -4 multiplied by x minus 3. And so this minus a negative, I'm going to go ahead and rewrite as plus a 5. And I'm going to go ahead and distribute this -4. So -4 times x becomes -4x. -4 times -3 becomes +12. And then to get the y by itself into slope-intercept form, I'm going to subtract the 5. And it becomes -4x plus 7. So once again, you've got lots of options on these even problems to go through and practice this. You can check your answers with me when you're finished with them. Use the one beside it as a guide. It's there to help you. If you have questions, you can email me, or you can come and see me during RTI for help.